Hey everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Jake Talks Star Wars, and I've been recording like crazy today because it has been so long since I recorded. I released a video a couple weeks ago, but that video was recorded back in December, I think, just because the holiday season has just been so crazy, and everything else. The last couple weeks of the new year was just absolutely nuts. But we are back. And Star Wars, Jake Talks Star Wars is back, and we are here. And I wanted to do a retrospective of everything that was published or everything that was released in 2025 and kind of talk about Star Wars in 2025 and then get into a little bit about the state of the channel, of this channel going forward and what I want to do with it going forward. And then just kind of set the stage for what's coming up soon, what's coming next. So let's get started. First things first. Lots of different stuff got released in the last year in 2025. 2025 was a pretty big year for Star Wars overall, even though we only got got one live action show, and they finished one other live action show. And then we got some animated stuff and a bunch of announcements that were really exciting and really fun. So, first things first, Star Wars Revenge of the Sith was re-released in theaters over the summer, and that was a blast. I had a ton of fun with that. I took my oldest daughter with me to go see that, and that was a lot of fun. A trip down memory lane. It's always fun to see Star Wars on the big screen. I cannot wait until we have new Star Wars to see on the big screen here in a few months. So that's exciting. And looking forward to other releases. You know, Skeleton Crew finished up in 2025. Skeleton Crew was a lot of fun. Definitely worth the watch. So definitely, check that out because I think that's a lot of fun and, again, worth the watch. And then the big elephant in the room as far as releases go in 2025 was Season 2 of Andor. Season 2 of Andor was just incredible. I really have trouble describing it simply. It is serious Star Wars. It is probably some of the best Star Wars ever put to film, ever put to digital. And it is incredible. It's an incredible series. Seasons 1 and 2 together are incredible, and everyone should watch them. Whether you're a Star Wars fan or not, everyone should watch Andor. And I will make another video. I am planning to make a video about Andor here in the future, specifically seasons 1 and 2 of Andor, kind of together, discussing why I think they're so good and why they're so important. But I won't get bogged down with that today. But Andor was released last year. Some of the best Star Wars I think we've ever seen on the screen, and it deserves all the accolades that it earns. So there's that. We mentioned Skeleton Crew. And then after Andor, we had kind of a litany of like different animated things this last year. We had the Tales of the Underworld with Asajj Ventress and Cad Bane, which I was just kind of lukewarm on, I think. I didn't really know that I needed a story about Cad Bane, and I'm still not convinced I needed a story about Cad Bane, but it was fun, and I can see why some people enjoy it, and I can see why, it was made. So we got that going for us. The Asajj Ventress stories I think were really interesting. I'm excited to see where that character goes in the future and what they choose to do with that character, especially in animation. So that's exciting. I liked that. Lego Star Wars was probably a lot of fun. Was the most fun of the animated stuff this last year, I think. Because again, anything I can watch with my kids, whether it's Skeleton Crew or whether it's Lego Star Wars, anything I can easily watch with my kids and we can just have fun, I am a big fan of. And Lego Star Wars is really on that trajectory. It's something fun you can watch with the kids. It's just a good time. So I really enjoyed that as well. And then, of course, for the artistic among us and the... Well, it's also fun, right? But definitely more artistic in some ways. We got Star Wars Visions this year. The third volume of Star Wars Visions. I did a whole series of videos on those back when they were released. So check those out if you haven't already. I thoroughly enjoyed most of Visions. My oldest daughter watched Visions as well. She also enjoyed it. So definitely worth checking out. Definitely worth watching. And again, excellent release for this year. For this last year, I should say. Couple of big announcements. The big announcement that came at the end of the year was we are getting New Hope, the original theatrical release, or as close as we can get to the original theatrical release of A New Hope in theaters in 2027, in next year. And that is super exciting. I am thrilled for that. I cannot wait to see that. I want to see that. I cannot wait to see that. And it's going to be a good time. I'm going to take my kids, probably drag the wife. It's going to be a good time. Going to be a lot of fun. Definitely something to look forward to for next year. Another thing to look forward to for next year. And then, let's see, Celebration Japan. And Celebration Japan kind of is a nice way to end this video, I think, because it kind of leads into what this channel is. Celebration Japan, I was watching this year the coverage. I always watch the coverage of Celebration on YouTube, whether it's coverage from channels that I watch like Star Wars Explained, or whether it's coverage from the official Star Wars channels, and I always enjoyed it. And I'm always kind of bummed that I'm not there, right? Because I want to experience that feeling, that electric feeling in the air that you can't get in person, right? Or you can't get online, right? Online fandom is just so full of, in a lot of ways, just a lot of really negative stuff, right? But when you're in person, that electricity in the air, it's exhilarating, right? You think back to seeing Star Wars in theaters. You think back to being at Galaxy's Edge, right? Being at Galaxy's Edge, seeing Star Wars in theaters, where all these people are in the moment together, seeing the thing together, and that energy is something I really want to experience. And again, the other thing, watching Celebration this last year, was I realized generationally how much Star Wars is changing and has changed, because Celebration this year was people from Ahsoka, people from Andor, people from the animated side of things, and that was it. It wasn't people that I grew up with, right? It wasn't people that I grew up with for the most part. It wasn't things that I recognize as Star Wars. What got me into Star Wars, right? A new generation is kind of starting to take over, which is good, which is the way that it should be, right? That's the beautiful thing of Star Wars. You've got the original trilogy and the expanded universe era and the sequel trilogy and the prequel trilogy and now the streaming era, and all these different generations have come of age with different versions of Star Wars as their Star Wars, and that's beautiful. That's incredible. And I really, watching the Celebration coverage, I said, man, I want to experience that. And so I made the commitment to go to Star Wars Celebration in 2027. I'm still planning on going to Celebration in 2027. And somewhere along the line, I made the commitment to, starting this channel to kind of talk about my perspectives on Star Wars and kind of chronicle my journey towards Celebration and how I want to get there and what I want to do and all those sorts of things. So, and try to, get into the community and build a community kind of surrounding Star Wars, leading into that. So this year especially, we'll probably have more talk about Celebration coming up next year, because I'm going to be more actively working towards going and getting my tickets and making my plans and all these sorts of things. So that's very exciting. But that's kind of the state of the channel. Channel's grown a lot in the last few months. I've been doing this, I think, since September. I have something like 40 some odd followers since I started. I've published almost 50 videos at this point, and I've got people viewing all the videos and checking them out, and a lot of people are commenting and liking them, and I really appreciate it. I appreciate that most of the comments are pretty good. Nobody's really trying to drag me, which is nice. And because, again, we're all just here to have a good time. We're not here to fight with each other and to argue and things like that. I like what I like, you like what you like. If those things connect, then that's great. If not, you can keep moving, and so can I, and that's okay. But again, very excited for where Star Wars has been this last year. Very excited for where Star Wars is going in the future. I have a breaking news video up. Either if it's not up now, it's going to be up soon, about some of the news that came out this week about Star Wars. Some very exciting news in the Star Wars world this last week. So definitely check out that video if you haven't already. And then I have some book reviews coming up in the next couple of weeks. I review. I'm reviewing the Thrawn trilogy, the original Thrawn trilogy. I'm also reviewing Shadows of the Empire novel coming up, and then I think later this week I have a video coming out looking forward to what we have to look forward to in Star Wars in 2026, the rest of this year. So check that out later this week as well. And as usual, guys, as always, thank you so much for coming by. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Like, share, subscribe if you haven't already. And let me know what you think. What did you like most from 2025? What was your favorite thing from the 2025 releases? And yeah, I look forward to hearing from you. Check out the other videos that are either posted now or coming up soon. And thanks for coming by. Thanks for listening. Take care of each other out there. And as always, may the Force be with you.